And we're live. This is episode 27 of the Everybody Mad Live podcast. Today is October the 29th. This is the Get Out the Vote edition of the Everybody Mad Live podcast. We're just 2 days before Halloween, but 5 days left in this election season. Good evening. My name is Sid Lover. How you doing today?
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Kenya Kabine. Thank you for joining the Everybody Mad Live podcast. I can't believe the election is next week, Sid. So much stuff is going on right now in this country. So much civil unrest. A lot of stuff that we got to talk about. You can leave your comments. Let us know your thoughts on the show with that link right there. Also, let us know your thoughts. And even if you could actually jump on with us right now, too, we got a great show. We got some great guests. Dani Canada, television personality extraordinaire, and from BOSSIP, she is going to be joining us. Plus, we're going to be talking to some adult entertainers.
You gotta make it clap a little bit. You gotta make it clap to the poll. Yeah, we're going to be talking with the creators and the producer and director of the PSA campaign. Get your booty to the poll. Get your booty to the poll. Get your booty to the poll. Yeah, so we're gonna be talking to them. A lot. They made some people mad though. I thought they were doing a good thing, but some people have gotten mad at them for their chosen method. So we're going to talk to them a little bit about that, and we're going to talk a little bit more throughout the show on how you can get some information on how you can secure your right to vote and use your right to vote and all the resources that you need. Also, we want to remind you, please support us. All you got to do is just like us. Whatever you're watching us on right now, just hit that like button. That's all you got to do is hit the like button. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you're watching us. If you're on the podcast platforms, we're on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, whichever one they get that, because I know iTunes is becoming Apple Podcasts. But we're on both of them. We're on Google Podcasts, we're on Spotify, Audible, wherever. I think I can say, hey, Google, play the Everybody Mad Live podcast. Let me see if it works. I can't hear it, but you can tell your Google or you can tell your Alexa that you want to hear the Everybody Mad Live podcast while you're on the go, so you can definitely hear that. But we can get into the show.
Hey, dope. Well, before we get into the show, man, just want to send shouts out to everybody here in Atlanta. A lot of people right now are without power, myself included. That's why you see I have a different background and everything like that.
I meant to ask you that.
Yeah. So I'm actually at one of my homies' cribs right now broadcasting because I don't have any power, and he's like one of the only friends I know that has power right now. So I'm actually over at his crib. So shouts out to my homie Ramos for letting me use his crib and everything. All right, so let's go ahead and jump off the show because we have a lot of topics to talk about. This past Monday, Philly 7-year-old man named Walter Wallace Jr., who they said was armed with a knife. Now, the shooting actually went down around 4 p.m. as police responded to a call of a man armed with a knife. Now, from what the video shows, Walter actually walks towards the police with a knife, and they shoot him 10 times in front of his mom, who was trying to defuse the whole situation. When I tell you this video was completely shocking, Wallace's wife actually told officers that he is manic bipolar and he was in crisis. But clearly the officers weren't trained in how to de-escalate or deal with a mentally ill person. So they shot him. And I'm just trying to figure out, why would you shoot him 10 times? You could have tased him. You know what I mean? You could have shot him in the leg. So as a result, riots, of course, they jumped off because of this shooting right here. It's totally tragic. Seb, what's your thoughts?
Well, this whole discussion that we've been saying about defund the police, and people don't understand when we say defund the police, it's not necessarily like we want to take everything away from it. We want to be a policeless society. We want the right people to be sent to the right things. And from what I'm hearing with the story, they didn't even have tasers. All they had was lethal weapons. So if you're going to this fight and you don't even have the adequate equipment that you need so that you can honestly maintain it, and the family was real particular. They said this was a mental crisis. They explained that when they called the authorities. So it was like they knew what had happened, so they prefaced the call anyway. So the fact that they didn't even bring any de-escalatory measures out there, any other people, that's why we say defund the police, because they're not trained for this particular situation. They are trained to shoot, to kill.
It's sad. And then what's even sadder is that this happened in front of his mother. Just imagine you being a parent and watching your child get shot in the middle of the street like that. And some reports were actually saying that his kids were out there too. Yeah. So I just couldn't even imagine, psychologically, the toll this is going to take on them mentally. It's going to be a lot that they have to deal with for the rest of their lives.
That's why we're having to Get Out the Vote thing, because we shouldn't have to keep reliving hashtags, because when is it going to hit our family directly? We don't want that to happen.
Yeah, exactly. All right, got an update on what's going on with Breonna Taylor. If you haven't heard by now, 2 grand jurors in the Breonna Taylor case have broken their silence and spoke to Gayle King this week. Now, they actually called out Attorney General Daniel Cameron, who they say betrayed them by never giving them a chance to consider murder or manslaughter charges against the officers. The 2 male jurors, 1 black, 1 white, told Gayle that Daniel's office did not present them with any possible murder charges, attempted murder charges, or manslaughter charges. The jurors expected murder charges against the cops, but all Cameron's team had for them was a wanton endangerment charge. Now, the jurors also confirmed that when this was the only charge presented, that there was definitely an uproar of confusion in the deliberation room. Like, people were like, wait a minute, you're not going to charge these dudes with any kind of murder charge whatsoever. So the answer they got back from the prosecutor when they were, upset about this, was that the charges wouldn't stick. So that's why everything played out the way that they did.
While there are 6 possible homicide charges under Kentucky law, these charges are not applicable to the facts before us, because our investigation showed, and the grand jury agreed, that Mattingly and Cosgrove were justified in the return of deadly fire.
When he stated that there were 6 possible murder charges and that the grand jury had agreed that those didn't apply, the first time I heard the word 6 possible murder charges was in that news conference.
It wasn't presented to you in the grand jury deliberations?
No. And personally, when I do something, I take responsibility for it. We had not done that.
I really felt that this was all Cameron. This was up to him. We didn't get a choice in that at all. So I was livid. By the time I heard what he was saying, everything that came out of his mouth, I was saying liar, because we didn't agree to anything. We never met Cameron.
You've never met Attorney General Cameron?
No, we never met him. He never discussed anything with us.
I think many people will be very surprised to hear that they had no contact with Attorney General Cameron whatsoever.
I agree. If you watch the press conference, it seemed clear from the wording that Mr. Cameron was implying that he played a larger role in the actual presentation.
Part of what the 2 anonymous grand jurors were saying, that he didn't even bring that into there. He said that it wouldn't stick. And the lawyer also said that he never even came inside the grand jury room. Never even met him. Now, it's uncommon for the attorney general to even be in the grand jury situation anyway. But with him being the chief law enforcement officer and in charge of the investigation, you would expect that he would give explicit instructions to the grand jury on what they were able to do and what's about to come at him. But he said that he didn't even go in the room with him. So everything that he said about the grand jury, lies. Like, you can't trust no black man who ain't got no mustache.
My barber used to say the exact same thing too. But it's really sad. It's really unfortunate. And once again, we all want justice for Breonna. At the end of the day, that's what everybody wants. It's just it's unbelievable to me that Daniel's not being held accountable for his own actions. I mean, clearly this is a cover-up. And even the jurors said, we know he's trying to cover some things up right now. So we just, we keep on saying every week we're going to follow this story, but this is why everybody's upset. This is why there's so much racial tension right now in our country, because people are getting away with fraudulent activities like this right here. It's really sad. Joe Biden said, I don't know if you heard about this or not, but he actually had a rally here in the A on Tuesday, and Offset and Common actually performed, and Biden walked out to Outkast Hey Yow, of course, as he walked out to the stage. Yeah, it was kind of interesting. And it's funny too, because, and I'm gonna talk to, Dani, I want to ask her about this too, because I didn't know anything about this, but it's been a crazy week, a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, this event, which I like about Joe Biden, is that this event actually promoted social distancing as people park their cars around the stage to watch the whole rally. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen at a Trump rally. Because at a Trump rally, people don't have on masks and everything. But as you can see, Common perform. Everybody's out there, watching from their cars and stuff like that. It looked like it was really dope.
Biden and Kamala have been here too. But what I want to say is, man, what Biden in Georgia? That don't happen. Like, Democratic candidates don't go to Georgia this late in the election season. So the fact that he can actually potentially win Georgia is the reason that he's down there and he's bringing the big guns, because last time, like the final days of the campaign, remember he was in Cleveland. Beyonce went to Cleveland, I think. Well, not he, but the Democrats went to Cleveland in 2016 with Hillary. They had Beyonce and Jay-Z in Cleveland. I think they did something in Philadelphia. So they were staying in those Rust Belt states. But notice how Joe Biden is like, you know what? I see something down there. I smell something. Something smell good down there in Georgia. Let me go down there in Georgia. Let me go down there in Florida. Let me go down there. He's literally going. That's what I want. I want him to wipe Trump ass off this map. I want him to win 48 states type of stuff. Just so we're just completely done with all this foolishness. Because, well, that's why I wear my GOP Russia shirt, because I'm tired of being run by Russia. I want to be ran by somebody who's caring about what we need right here in America. So, man, kudos to like the Biden and what this campaign has been able to do, feeding off of the issues with Trump. But like the fact that he can actually potentially win Georgia and Texas.
Yeah, it's huge. It's really huge. And so let's talk about this. So while he was in Atlanta, his wife Jill Biden was actually doing a rally for him at Savannah State University, one of the oldest historically Black colleges and universities in the state of Georgia. But you'll never believe who showed up. Said
who?
A bunch of Trump supporters. Trump supporters actually came out. They came to a historically Black college, clearly trying to bait the students. They were trying to bait the Biden supporters, but the reality is nobody paid them attention. You know, nobody's going to fall for the okie doke. Savannah State Tigers, we don't do stuff like that. But it's just kind of interesting, and this didn't catch a lot of news and stuff like that because, of course, there was no drama or anything like that. It could have been some drama, but Savannah State University students, again, we know how to we know how to handle ourselves, you know, in situations of this kind of nature right here, even though people were definitely being provoked on campus. I heard that behind the scenes. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's almost like, and like it kind of fits with the story that we had last week. We were talking about guns and that sort of thing. People are doing that. Did you see Walmart? Walmart has actually pulled their gun ammunitions and guns off of the floor because they're seeing what may potentially happen. Because we really don't know. We just know white people acting crazy. So that's all we know right now. And they're getting frustrated at some things. So like a lot of people are paying attention to some stuff. So it's kind of interesting and weird that we're seeing a lot of these things happen now.
Yeah, and it's funny too, as I was coming in, I just got that alert about Walmart and I was thinking, wow, you know, this is real. Next Tuesday, it's going to be so much emotion going on. You know, like everybody's going to be in their feelings with a lot of stuff. I mean, like, because you know, you want your candidate to win, right? We want our candidate to win. Other people want their candidate to win. So it's going to be a lot of like just everybody's going to be on edge on Tuesday, but I pray that everything is going to work out. Like, just we got to have faith in God, man, at the end of the day. So while we were talking about this whole rally things, you know, Trump actually had a rally with a whole bunch of supporters that actually froze their asses off outside of an Omaha, Nebraska airport. Yo, this is so crazy right here. So the temperature said was below freezing when Trump walked off the stage to get back in his warm plane. So basically he was like, all right, y'all, I'm out. I'm about to dip. I'm going to get back in my private jet, fly back to the White House. Meanwhile, hundreds of supporters had to wait outside to get on a shuttle bus to take them back to their cars, which were 3 miles away. And the thing was that their buses there weren't enough buses to accommodate the people. So folks were actually stranded for hours. They were stranded for hours, and 7 people actually ended up hospitalized.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is. Hey, it is what it is. You know, Trump don't care about people. This is stuff that they don't think about, man.
Part of what we've been doing it since May. We've been focusing on helping out to get out the vote. We want people to vote. We don't really care who you vote for. We just want you to be able to exercise your right to do that, because we know that we all need to be a part of this thing called America, this society, and voting is a part of it. So we've been all on this. There's been a whole lot of grassroots groups. People have been doing their own time, their own money, their own resources, putting into things. And there is one organization that has done a PSA. I want to bring up the PSA so we can see what we're talking about.
I love this PSA.
I love it too. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hey.
Get your booty to the pole, 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 get your booty.
You ain't dancing till you throw your hands up.
Did we get your attention? Good. So You really not gonna vote? You know it's more than just the president on the ballot, right? Check it.
A district attorney decides who to prosecute,
Including whether or not to go after dirty cops. Do you know who elects the DA? We do, but you don't want to vote.
Can't make it rain if you locked up on some bullshit.
Want trades and coding taught in our schools? Then vote for the school boards that will prepare us for the job market.
Want to end cash bail? Well, then vote for the sheriffs and county officials that feel the same way you do.
But you talking about, oh, they gonna pick who they gonna pick, shawty. Ferguson just elected their first.
You know how that happened?
It's clear Black lives don't matter to some of our current elected officials. If they matter to you, then don't let other people decide who's gonna run your community. Get your booty to the poll. Get your booty to the poll. Get your booty to the poll.
Get your vote.
Information on how and where to vote, as well as resources to find out who's running where you live, go to
GetYourBootyToThePoll.com.
When I first heard it, I didn't even know that it was real. So I actually went to the website and they had all this information. I'm like, shut your mouth. They got like ballot proposals. They got all the details about candidates, registering to vote, deadlines, and all that stuff. I was like, oh, y'all for real. Y'all for real. So let's bring on the creators of the Get Your Booty to the Poll campaign and producer of the campaign. Let's welcome the director, Angela Barnes, and also the producer, Paul Fox. What's going on?
What's
Hey,
up?
how are you?
How's it going? Yeah. How's it going?
So far, so good.
No doubt.
Angela, you're muted.
Yeah, Angela's muted.
About that. My kids were making a bunch of noise. I want to make sure they weren't interrupting.
Okay. Hey, it's so good to have you all with us. So I want to know, how did you all come up with this Get Your Booty to the Poll campaign? What inspired this whole campaign?
Oh, well, I'm a TV director. That's my day job. And when Hollywood shut down in March because of Corona, and then, over the spring and summer, the George Floyd protests, Black Lives Matter kind of became front and center in America. We were talking and we should do something, and we weren't really sure what. So we just started talking to people, and, I don't know a lot of influential people, but I know people who know people. So we met with the ACLU, we met with Stacey Abrams, all on Zoom. Met with Black Male Voter Project, and they kind of told us what's going on in terms of voting. We're like, do we talk about voting? We talk about census. And so I decided to focus on Black male voters, because Black women tend to be we vote all the time. We're like the second largest voting bloc besides white men. So with limited resources, I was like, well, let's just focus on what I can get. So let's focus on Black men, and then Black men in Georgia. And then I was like, okay, how about Black men in Georgia that are for the culture, that that are into that. And as a joke, I said, I want something that's really Atlanta and something that people want to share, and something that could be, my sense of humor is really cheeky. So I'm like, I want something kind of cheeky. And I was like, I don't know, like strippers saying, get your booty to the poll. And they're like, oh, that's funny. But then a week later, I was still thinking about it. And then a week later, I was still thinking about it. And then I posted on my Facebook, I'm thinking about doing this thing. Who wants to help? And Paul literally called me. I'd worked with Paul before. Called me 3 minutes. My phone was ringing after I posted. It was like, hey, I saw your thing. What do you need? What do you need?
Mm.
And I'm a director. He's normally a prop master. So he's like, anything art department. He goes, but I am also a producer. And I was like, oh. And I called him back 5 minutes later, Paul. And I was like, you know what? Yes, please produce my thing, because I don't want to do that.
For me, I was also at home since March when the George Floyd murder happened. And shortly after the president did his infamous photo op at that church across the street from his house, me and a couple of my buddies, we got right on the road and we went straight to DC to protest. And we protested for 4 days. And it was eye-opening, it was emotional, and it was a lot to deal with. And, we thought, well, now that we've done this, what else are we going to do? Because we had already protested in Atlanta. We went to DC to do it. We had more plans to protest back at home, but it's like, we can't just walk around carrying picket signs upset. We have to do something to invoke some kind of change more than that. It's great to show that you're angry and displeased, but it's not really enough. So I began seeking out like-minded people who were looking to create some kind of change, who were looking to make the world a little bit better in their own way. and Angela, who I've worked with several times before, you know, was like, "Hey, I'm doing this thing. Like, I need help. Who wants to come on board? Who wants to do this?" And I was the first one, like she said. You know, so we talked about it a few times. I love the concept of it. I came on board, and we started looking for exotic dancers and strip clubs to shoot at, and the rest is history.
Wow. Now, how did you all approach the exotic dancers in the club? Like, did you go to the Blue Flame? Did you go to Magic City? Because one of them looks like she's from Blue Flame, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, they work at a lot of different clubs.
Okay.
They work at a few different clubs around town. Now, this is a funny story. So when we started, we thought that, you know, Magic City really wanted to be a part of it with us. And ultimately, they passed on the opportunity, but they did allow us to come and talk to the dancers. But we couldn't talk to them backstage. We had to wait till they were on the floor, like, dancing. So it was really, really awkward, and it was kind of like this strange thing. But before we went, we looked at all of their profiles on Instagram. We were looking up all the dancers who worked in Magic City to see who was politically active. And that's what we ended up doing. We were just looking for dancers who were politically active. And there was this one dancer named Amani who had photos of her out marching and protesting, and she had all this Black Lives Matter stuff on her page. And I thought, oh my God, it'd be so great if she was working, you know? And, you know, that was the first person who walked up to us that night. And it was just the most awkward thing. I said, "I'm so sorry. I know who you are already. This is going to sound really awkward. I'm only here because I want to ask you to be part of this PSA that I'm doing. And I hope that you're down with this because I know how strange it sounds while you're at work and not even thinking about this." I told her about it, and she said, "You know what? I'm down. That sounds great. Let's do it." And that was how we got started.
Wow. So, Angela, were you not surprised with the backlash that you've all been receiving regarding the campaign?
I'll be honest. I knew that it wasn't going to be for everybody. I am not super active on social media. Like I'm old. I'm like the old lady on Facebook, right? Like on my Instagram, I never posted the video, the first one, because I couldn't figure out how to post it. And if you look at it, the second one we did is reposted. It's all framed wrong. And I'm like, I just can't figure it out. So like, I didn't know that the trolls are organized. And I think that's what threw me off. So I was ready for people to not like it. What I wasn't ready is for people to just make shit up and then like target me. You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I had heard something because they wrote a whole article out about y'all. They've been putting stuff out and all sorts of things, not just posting on your social media, but they've been coming after you. I even saw something, I think, in Sandra Rose, Tariq Nasheed posted something. You guys, apparently, white Democrats gave y'all all the money so that y'all could do this campaign. Is that true?
Yeah. And what's funny is he wrote that after he said something about white Democrats, and I tweeted him and corrected him. I'm like, actually, no, this is 2 Black people that did it. That is, like that we just used our own money to pay for it.
Right.
And then he doubled down and said we were both, not just that we were backed by white Democrats, is that we both actually were white Democrats. Which I'm like, not the last time I looked in the mirror, like, So, it's crazy. But it's also like even some of the backlash from people that are not, like when a dude whose, Twitter name is Thoughtmaster69, and he's like, this is disrespectful that you would do this to try to get to Black men. And I'm just like, but like your name is Thoughtmaster69.
Right.
I never said this to get to all Black men. This was to get to some Black men, because Black people are not a monolith.
Right.
It's weird how we do that to ourselves sometimes. Of how Paul made a point earlier about like, GoDaddy had these commercials with white women doing all sorts of crazy, dancing and stuff, and people, that were very sexy, and no one was like, "How dare you portray white women like this?" Like, no, that's that chick. It's not, But, Atlanta culture, everybody in Atlanta got it. The people who are from Atlanta or had been to Atlanta, they got it. And honestly, that's what the thought was for. I never thought it was going to, obviously not how the internet works, but I didn't really think that people outside of Atlanta were going to go that crazy for it. And
even care about it.
Yeah.
The issues that we bring up are issues for Black men who live, in the metro Atlanta area. I mean, a lot of those issues I think are universal or, national for a lot of Black men. We did a lot of research. We did our homework and made sure that we brought up issues that were important to a lot of different people. And, a lot of those issues are not on either, the Republicans and the Democrats' platforms. That's why it's nonpartisan. No one is talking about these issues except for us. We brought them up. But yeah, it was a lot. I learned a lot about a lot. I didn't know what a HOTEP was until we started doing this. I really didn't. What the hell are these tangibles are you talking about? What is this? Learning experience, even after we thought we had learned some stuff and made something educational. So.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we definitely want to shout out the work that you guys are doing. We're looking at the follow-up PSA that you guys had done to that, which obviously is kind of like a little play on just a little bit of the scandal you got with the first video. But then we'll watch. Let me see if I can turn on the sound.
How are y'all telling them to get their booty to the pole with no booty and no pole?
Period. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yes, girl.
No booty and no pole.
November 3rd is the last day to vote, so get your booty to the poll right now. For voter resources, including downloading your sample ballot, go to getyourBootyToThePoll.com.
Booty to the pole, yeah. Vote, yeah. Vote, stretch, yeah. Vote.
That's dope.
Yeah, and
I love it. I really think it's brilliant.
And it's such a needed thing, especially within Georgia. Like you guys clearly, like your work is paying off because record-setting early voting is going off. So I want to applaud you guys for the work that you're doing because I know it is contributing to that. All those men who are voting, all those young people who are voting, and I've always said you can't keep getting everybody through the same way. Like you don't get everybody to look at a debate. You ain't gonna get everybody to look at a political ad. You ain't gonna get everybody to like even pay attention to those endless text messages that we all get. You got to reach everybody through the method that you got to reach them through. And as a marketing guy, because that's my trade, I love it because it's out of the box and it's different and it's impactful. And as you can see, it's helping. So good luck to Georgia. I am looking forward to seeing those numbers next Tuesday when they come in from Georgia, because y'all should have had Stacey Abrams, but now we know. But now maybe we'll fix all those rights in 2020 and kind of get back to where we need to go. Now, do you guys have follow-up plan to this? Will your campaign end after this, or you're just going to take it as you see it?
I mean, it's funny when you first introduced this as like this organization is doing, like, we're not an organization. It literally is just me and Paul. we're not even a production company. You know what I mean? Like we put together a little LLC just so that we could get insurance for the first shoot. So it's not,
right.
But we've been talking because, for me, people are like, are you going to do more voting stuff? And I don't want to do any more voting stuff. I want to keep people, it feels like cramming for a test versus studying all along. I want to keep people engaged between the elections. I want people to know that as easy as it was for you to track me down on Instagram and come to my personal email and tell me how you felt about something I posted, you can track down your public elected officials on their Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter and say, stop killing Black people or fix the pothole. Like, it doesn't have to be that even that serious, but you can hold them accountable the same way that everyone's out there trying to cancel everybody else. Cancel the damn politicians. Like, literally, you can take their job away. You can take their job. And so, that's what I want. For me and Paul were talking about this in the last couple of days. The next step is let's try to do something where we can get people engaged, but not just engaged, but to show people how. This is how you can engage with your politicians. Some people don't even know that you can call the office and they'll actually call you back or email you back.
Right.
People don't know that. I mean, the president might not have time for that, but your councilman certainly does. The school board certainly does.
And so do your senators.
Yeah.
National level. Everyone's got, people forget that these officials, they work for us. They are public servants. They are here. They're here to do our bidding. They're here to make sure that we are properly represented. And I'm hoping that campaigns like ours, will attribute to a cultural shift where we make sure that we hold them accountable, and I don't really care who's in office as long as it's someone in office that we're going to hold accountable. That the people, their allies, are going to hold them accountable. Like, that's the biggest part. Right? You can't let the president, you can't let your senators, you can't let the Supreme Court, you can't let people just do whatever they want. Right. They work for us.
Yeah.
So that's the bottom line. It doesn't matter if we agree or not. If you're my senator, you do what I tell you to do. That's the bottom line. That's it. And when you're sitting there and you're debating about abortion or anything else, you know, my voice needs to be a part of your comments, about a part of your conversation, because you represent me and my needs.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I look forward to seeing. I look forward to seeing people shifting in that direction.
No doubt.
Like our next campaign should be like, "You're about to lose your job. You about to lose your job." Like that would be the theme song for the next one. Because like, if you're not going to do what the people want, you're about to lose your job. Yes. Like that's it.
Yeah,
That's
for real.
it.
Everyone,
That's
this is Angela and Paul. How can people get in contact with you all? What's your social media handle, and what is the handle to the Get Your Booty to the Poll? I guess it is Get Your Booty to the Poll, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, and Instagram is Get Your Booty to the Poll, and Facebook is, and then I think Twitter is just Booty to the Poll because it's too long.
Booty to the poll, or booty poll, something like that. You type it in, it'll come up.
Yeah, Booty to the Poll is Twitter.
And people don't hit the button.
We just made all this up in the last few months, like literally. You know, it's crazy. But it's been so great to see people that are like reaching out to us. And even if they don't like it, like the fact that they're engaged, I think is good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We even had like some random like private equity guy was like, "Hey, I try to do something too because I just have this money. And what we did spent twice as much or 3 times as much as you did and didn't have the impact. And now we just want to give you some money instead of putting more money into our thing." And to me, that's the kind of teamwork that we need in the country.
Yeah.
Like to me, Trump is bad.
Absolutely.
But what's really bad are the homies that have been supported that were like, "Oh, this man is trash." But then once he got in office, was like did not hold him accountable. And we're like, "Oh yeah, Trump's great, just because they
not so bad after all.
Yeah. Right. Like I love that campaign of like vote for me, vote for Trump because he called my wife ugly. Like they had all the politicians of all the crap that Trump said about him, and they had that as like the slogan under them.
Right.
But like that's part of it too, you know?
Yeah. Well, again, we really appreciate you all joining us. We're not going to take up too much of your time, but everybody get your booty to the poll and vote. Angela and Paul, we really appreciate you all so much. And again, thank you for what you were doing, because really you didn't even have to do it. You know what I mean? But it takes individuals like yourself to say, "Yo, I want change. I want to make a difference to make things happen." And you're to be commended again. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
You all stay blessed.
Now, I know that campaign is in Georgia, primarily targeting Georgia voters and really men voters, but that campaign has reached all the way up here. Not only we know social media goes forever, but they actually someone has gone outside of them, printed out some posters with "Get Your Booty to the Poll" on that, and has it posted inside of a workplace. That one of my friends was telling me that's happening right here in Madison Heights, Michigan. So that's one of those great things. You never know who you can touch if you just put it out there. Because I'm quite sure they never even thought about Michigan as being someone who would be helped by their campaign. So kudos to them. Definitely.
Kudos to them. Well, we got some more hot topics to talk about, and coming up very shortly, we're going to be joined by Dani Canada from BOSSIP. Yo, said you definitely got to file this next story under shady shit. Vice Network actually caught and exposed the Republican campaign headquarters in Newport Beach, California, doubling as a Trump merchandise store and allegedly collecting ballots. This is completely a state violation. It's unacceptable. The video actually shows the Trump store employees offering to collect ballots to store in their safe. Now, the California Secretary of State and Attorney General fired off a cease and desist to the California GOP over its use of the ballot boxes. The person who filed this complaint says that the video was actually shot after that cease and desist, which means it's still some more shady shit going on behind the scenes, man. Like, really? Is this what's going on? And we knew that it was going to be some stuff anyway. But, man, I mean, yo, these folks are relentless.
Yeah, they won't try. Yeah, they'll try anything because they know they can't win the vote. So they will cheat to win, just period.
Right.
But
exactly.
That's what they do. They will ride and die and cheat to win as long as it helps them.
As always.
Just like they did with that Supreme Court.
Yeah, I was just about to talk about that. Just like what they did with the Supreme Court. Of course, it said it's talking about Amy Coney Barrett, Trump's pick to replace the late Justice Ginsburg, was confirmed and appointed to the Supreme Court of the United States this past Monday. And, you know, it's kind of funny to me because she's not qualified. Okay, let's break it down. She has, 2 years private practice. She's never argued an appeal. She's never tried a case. never argued before Supreme Court. She does have
None of
15
that.
years teaching experience. She's never served as a judge until 3 years ago. So the reality is that her credentials just aren't enough to make her sit on the highest court in the country. I mean, she's mediocre, but that's what happens when you have white privilege behind you. When you're white privileged, mediocre is accepted. So now the reality is that you have 6 that actually lean to the right, 3 that lean to the left in regards to the viewpoints of the justice system. So that makes it very unbalanced and very unfair. Seb, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's too. And they talk a lot about packing the courts, but that's been the Republican game plan because they know they can't win the elections. And we just got to understand about government. Government is those 3 branches, that president, that court, and that legislator. Well, they know that they're having difficulty winning 2 out of those 3. So that's why they put so much effort into that third part, into that court, because they figure if they can get that court and hold on to the court, whatever they can't do legally through laws, whatever they can't do legally through electing presidents and things like that, now they can do it through the court. So they've been gung-ho and just not even gun-shy about doing it. And the fact that she's never been a Supreme Court, Trump made her a judge. She wasn't even a judge before that. Trump made her a judge in 2017 and then put her on the Supreme Court in 2020.
Come on.
How does that work? Even like look, bro, if I'm a white guy and I've spent all my life, and I'm a Republican or Democrat or whoever, if I'm a white guy and I've spent all my life as a lawyer, I've been a judge before, I've worked my way up the court, and then you bring this little girl in here, you hire her, put her on the appeal court for 3 years and put her up to the Supreme Court 3 years later? Bruh. Like, let's not pull punches. She's anti-abortion, number 1. She also wrote a decision. So, like, if you hear the N-word at a place of employment, she wrote that does not create a hostile environment.
Wow, really? I didn't know that. Are you serious?
Yeah. If your employer says the N-word and you file
man,
for discrimination, she wrote an opinion that the word itself does not necessarily create a hostile environment.
Where did she get that from? Really?
Did she ask anybody black?
Right.
If your boss started calling you niggas, how you gonna feel about that? Did she ask anybody black?
Of course
Do
not.
you feel like it's a hostile environment? That's what I'm saying. They don't care. They don't care. They have this ideology that they subscribe to, and that's it. If it fits their ideology, that's it. That's all they care about.
It's insane. That's why it's important to make sure that you get to the polls and vote. Check out ballotready.com. You can dive into the background of every candidate on your personal ballot. You can compare candidates based on their stances, on their issues, biography, and even endorsements. And you can actually save your choices as you go and bring your ballot to the polls and vote. It's very important to know who you're voting for on a federal, state, and local level. There's going to be a lot of names on the ballot, so make sure that you go to the polls, be informed, vote with confidence. Go to ballotready.com. Once again, that is ballotready.com. I already voted, said already voted too, but it's very important. It's imperative that you get to the polls and make very smart decisions. Don't just check off anybody, because you see what's happening right now in this country. You don't want to do that. So ballotready.com. Actually, the last day to do early voting will be this Friday. So make sure that you get to the polls and vote. And if you don't do that, make sure that you do it on Tuesday, Super Tuesday. Hey, Sam, we got Michigan. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
I was going to say in Michigan, it was a little bit different. We got same-day registration. We changed the laws in the last election to where you can register on election day if you wanted to be able to do that. So we got some flexibility with the laws. But whatever your laws are, Ballot Ready will tell you exactly what that is. And you can hit the solo.2/everybody mad. There's a link to Ballot Ready on that too.
Okay, there we have it. Okay, so our guest tonight, she is the editor-in-chief of one of my favorite websites, BOSSIP. She's also a TV personality too, and she is real good people. Y'all give it up for my girl, Dani Canada. What's up, boo?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing over there? What you been up to?
You know, work. Election season is really busy. There's always something going on. Always random celebrities coming out the woodworks talking about they're with Trump now. So that's what I've been doing.
Oh, it's wild. I haven't seen you in so long. Like last time we saw each other, it was like, March. Like it was actually before the pandemic.
March, because haven't been to the gathering spot since then. So
yeah. Well, it's good to see you. It's good to see you, and I know we got a lot of stuff that we want to talk about. But first, give us your whole background. How exactly did you become the deputy editor of BOSSIP, and tell everybody about your whole journalism background?
Okay. So I went to college at Hampton University. And I went to the Scripps Higher School of Journalism. I studied broadcast journalism there. I did radio all 4 years that I was in college, WHOV 88.1 FM. When I graduated, I kind of took a heel turn. I started out interning for a hip hop website called hiphopwire.com. From there, I moved up several positions and I was assistant editor there. Then I went to Rolling Out.
Nice.
I think you froze, Danny. I think she froze.
Did I freeze too?
No, I think Danny, she froze.
Yeah, we'll
try to refresh her.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me add her back.
Okay.
She may be having some trouble. She's in Atlanta too, right?
Yeah. I was just about to ask.
Yeah, I know you guys are all having some issues down there with internet and electricity and all that stuff. So
bad, man.
Yeah,
it's bad. Okay, so
I do have the video of the Kansas City, so we can go back to that while we wait for Danny.
Okay, cool. So this is the video that said, once again, this is a woman that is actually going off on politicians and city officials in Kansas City. And Danny, we're coming right back to you.
I'm not nice and I don't seek to be respectable. I'm not asking y'all for anything because y'all can't and won't be both my savior and my oppressor.
I'm not nice.
I don't want reform. I want to turn this building into luxury, low-cost housing. These will make some really nice apartments to me. Firstly, stop using Black children as photo opportunities because they're cute now, but in 10 years, they're Black male suspect in red shirts and khaki shorts.
Say that.
Eating cookies and drinking milk with children does not absolve you of your complicity in their oppression and denigration, Rick Smith.
Name calling. Drop his name.
More on police and education and try to encourage children to feast with their oppressors. Y'all are really weird. It's asinine to be called radical or homegrown terrorists for not wanting government employees to kill citizens in any instance. So I'm not here begging anything of soulless white folks and self-preserving Black folks. You get one life, and you all in this room have chosen profits over people, and that's pathetic. So I'm going to spend the next 2 minutes reading y'all for a fill, something I'm sure nobody has ever done. Nathan, the gentleman in the vomit-colored men's warehouse suit in desperate need of Bosley and a haircut, a former FBI who exudes white privilege and is the epitome of mediocrity, and who loves Trump so much that he hired his former attorney general at his firm. And it's so sweet because he spent most of this meeting looking away with his head in his hands. Or Mark, Pastor Mark of Victorious Life Church on 34th and Paseo, where the mission is to provide a place and opportunity to worship Jesus Christ and preach a message of hope and faith through God's holy word in the building. Meanwhile, he's subjecting Black people to terrorism and unchristlike behavior at the hands of KCPD outside the building. Ooh. And Kathy, Miss, I'll get here before the other commission members, so I look as if I have empathy, and I'm excited to hear what they have to say. Meanwhile, I didn't have anything else to do at 8 o'clock in the morning but be rich and white and retired, so I'm here early. Or Don, owner of Wagner Investments, Blue Notes LLC, and part owner of the Royals.
Woo! She snapped.
Ethered them.
She was giving it to him. She ate them alive, bro. That's all I can say. But we need people like that. I give props and commend people like that can get in front of a room full of people and really speak the truth and speak for the people. I love it. I'm all for it.
Yeah, like like sometimes you have to speak truth to power, and sometimes you have to have uncomfortable conversations with people who are in power, because otherwise they won't hear you until you begin to put them in uncomfortable situations. Like it's almost like we can hope that the right thing will happen, but no, people ultimately really won't do the right thing. You have to force them to do the right thing a lot of times. And whether that's by laws or whether that's by holding them accountable or whether that's by whatever, you have to put something out there to let them know that, hey, I see you and that ain't right. And you're going to stop doing it. And we have to treat our politicians like that too. We have to stop putting our politicians on pedestals as if they are leaders per se. They are leaders, but they're representatives. They're representatives more than they're leaders. They represent our voice, and we need to get our voice back. Far too long, we send people up there and hope that they do the right thing. No. We need to send them to their positions with marching orders. Hey, we're going to vote you in, but these are the things that we want. So we need to get the marching orders, and that's really a part of the whole conversation that I think we all just need to be having. And I love to bring Get Your Booty to the Poll on here, and all these people. Well, they're not an organization, but just people coming together, all for the right thing, just trying to do the right thing. Because at the end of the day, we have to live here, so we have to make it as comfortable as we know how. And my thing is I'm gonna rattle some cages while I'm here, because if it ain't comfortable, it ain't right. And it should just be comfort just for one set of people when we live in a country that guarantees equality. Everybody should be able to experience something that this country is giving. And right now, we're not getting it. But I love the fight that we're showing. I love the fight.
I really do too. With that being said, we're going to bring back Dani Canada from BOSSIP. Check in with her again.
She's still not on yet.
Oh, okay. I was wondering why you were like,
right. I'm trying to stretch it a little bit.
While you were stretching, I was like, okay, like
I'm like, well, maybe I'll give her a couple more seconds to come. Nah, she's I think she's probably having some challenges with the internet. But I know that whole region down there, like you guys, I know I've called from my family down in Atlanta, so y'all are getting all that Zeta that came up from New Orleans.
I just got a text from my neighbor, said that the power is back on, so that's a good thing.
That's good.
Yeah, because I mean, I was like, damn, we have to wait until Saturday. All right, well, I'm gonna just run a couple more stories though, and hopefully, Dani will be joining us in a second. But we definitely got to talk about Jared Kushner. Said one of the most ridiculous things about the Black community, and I'm gonna let you play the video. I'm gonna give you some time. I'm gonna stretch it out so you can pull this video up, because I totally had missed the video this past week, but when I saw it, I was like, really, bruh? Really? With that being said, you can roll it.
I guess my internet is struggling too.
I told you, man, you got to make that switch from let me not say it. Cricket, was it Cricket Wireless you got?
Don't want to succeed.
I don't even
One
think
thing
Cricket
we've seen
doing
in
that.
a lot of the Black community, which is mostly Democrat, is that President Trump's policies are the policies that can help people break out of the problems that they're complaining about, but he can't want them to be successful more than they want to be successful.
Woo!
Boy, stop. Now, y'all know that's some bullshit right there.
President Trump wants us to be more successful than he wants it more for us than we want for ourselves.
Man, they just got this stuff in their head, man. Like, I don't understand how they come up with this stuff in their head.
We've gotten like a vantage point into what a lot of them really think about us. What they really think.
Hey, girl.
My Wi-Fi went out. I don't know why it would go out now. It's not like the hurricane is hitting, but yeah, my Wi-Fi went out. I've been trying to get back on ever since. But hey.
Okay, welcome back to the show. So glad you can join us. I want to talk about some hot topics, because everybody knows that Dani is the queen of hot topics. If you don't know now, you know. Make sure you check her out on BOSSIP. But Dani, let's talk about your girl Kim Kardashian. Everybody's talking about how she flew 40 of her closest friends out to a private island. But why are people dragging her? What's that all about? Like, why can't we all be happy that Kim is 40 years old? What's up with that?
So the thing is the timing is pretty bad. Considering we're in the middle of a pandemic, you and your friends were safe, but there are people who are seeing this, and you can literally see it in her comment section. People like, I'm glad you're having fun. My dad's in the hospital. My mom's on a ventilator. I don't have money for my kids because of COVID. So it just looked really tone deaf. It's like, you can do all that, but because she is Kim Kardashian, she's going to share it. Like, technically she didn't have to share all that. I think that's why she's getting dragged. It's tone deaf. Like, people are literally suffering. It's like that whole Kim, there's people that are dying, that meme. Like, that's what it is. Like, girl, like, no.
But see, but you don't think, Danny, okay, but then you have celebrities like, you know, Cynthia and them just had their big wedding from the Real Housewives and stuff.
Yes.
No one was dragging them, but why are you going to drag the Kardashian? What's that all?
Oh, yes, they did.
Oh, they did?
Oh, they definitely went in.
What?
Yes, and you know, people were saying she's selfish, you know, especially since there were older people there who could be high risk. So they definitely got on Cynthia, you know, and I think if you think about it, it probably is a little more egregious than Kim Kardashian's vacation. She had 250 people in a closed space. You know, they're not on an island like they were with Kim, you know, so no shade, but she definitely caught flack as well.
Wow, that's hilarious. Well, what did you think about this whole Khloe Kardashian in the new trailer of Keeping Up with the Kardashians saying that she had COVID and, you know, they had to push through as far as her being diagnosed with COVID and everything?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. So one thing I noticed is just how, yes, she was sick, but she did have the privilege of having her mom, Kris Jenner, who could get the top doctors to her pretty quickly, who could get her, you know, on the way back to good health. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see that this season. I think it's interesting that that's the second person in the Kardashian kind of circle that we've heard who had COVID. You know, Kanye said he had COVID as well. So it's like, you know, that's unfortunate. So I'm interested to see how it plays out this season, I guess on this final season.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Are you a fan of the Kardashians?
No.
Me either.
Yeah, I don't hate them, but I'm just like, I'm never really excited to keep up with the Kardashians.
Right. Okay, well, I want to definitely ask you about this right here.
Okay.
Tamar Braxton was just recently on the Tamron Hall show. And she was mentioning some stuff about, you know, her and David getting into this fight. And she's actually challenging her ex, David, to release this video of her attacking him in his car. But he says he can't do it because Tamar actually busted the camera to pieces. And wanted to know your thoughts on this. Like, because I was kind of like, when I saw her on Tamron, and I felt like she was trying to push tears out. I felt like she was trying to push tears out because we know Tamar, and I love Tamar, but Tamar can be a little bit dramatic. She can be problematic at times. You know what I'm saying? So what's your thoughts on that, and what is everybody saying on the streets?
You know, Tamar, it's a shame to see how that relationship turned out because Tamar was so happy with David for a very long time. Yeah. This was her first relationship post-divorce from Vince. So I think everyone had high hopes for it. So it's really surprising to see that it's turned into this kind of soap opera that's turned into. Not only, you know, are they going back and forth about what happened that day in the car, but also, you know, she sometimes seems like she's defending him. Then other times it seems like she's bashing him. So it's hard to like keep up with where she is. Like she'll say things like, well, he was a great partner to me. And then it's, well, he's a liar. And it's just like, well, I don't know where to go with it, Tamar. So, you know, it's unfortunate to see that play out because I thought they had what it takes. You know, I thought they were going to last.
Yeah. That's kind of interesting with Tamar. What about the BET Hip Hop Awards? Because I was on BOSSIP and I saw, you know, the comments, man. Like, first of all, the internet is always winning. The internet stay winning no matter what. Like, just the comments always keep me laughing. Yeah. But I actually watched the show, and the BET Hip Hop Awards was actually a good show because it seems like, you know, now in this whole pandemic, they create brand new music videos for songs that they're promoting, you know. So I thought that the show was really dope, and I love the Hip Hop Awards always for the ciphers too. Now, I didn't really like what at first Brandy kind of like, I was like,
you didn't want to be down. You weren't down, Brandy.
Yeah, I didn't, you know, but then she came back strong in her cipher. But you know, I'm gonna let this is your thing. Like, what did you think about it, and what's the word on the streets?
I enjoyed the Hip Hop Awards. You know, and I think it's exactly what you said. These virtual award shows, you get these really amazing performances, like the City Girls. I'm not a huge City Girls fan because I'm 40. You know, I'm exaggerating, but I'm up there. Like, I'm way too old to really be like jamming to the City Girls. So they actually had a whole set and they had a routine. They looked great. I was like, okay. So I think it gives artists more time to really get it together. They can go to a whole new set rather than just performing on a stage. So I enjoyed that. You know, I saw some chatter with people saying that Lil Baby got snubbed for Best Album. You know, they gave it to Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
And also Da Baby from Charlotte. He was nominated for 12 awards and he didn't win any. And I do actually find that hard to believe because the Baby has had such an explosive, I guess, last 2 years. So that surprised me. But yeah, other than that, I think people really enjoyed it. And I think it was well done, well put together, you know.
Yeah.
Now, the Baby just released a song with Kanye. I think it just came out recently. The Baby, I think.
Baby? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is it hot? I haven't heard it.
It's decent.
I mean, you know, The Baby sounds the same on every song. All the songs.
Yeah.
But, you know, I respect it. I respect the hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was feeling Badu's cipher.
Yes.
Man, I was like, yo, Erica killed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she always do.
She always does. She really does. You know, that just shows her musicality. But yeah, she was really good. Who else was there? Her was in that cipher as well.
Yeah, her did good. Tiana Taylor was dope too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I just, you know, again, and I know they said as a Brandy fan, but I was just kind of like, Brandy, I need you to get a little bit on beat for me. You know,
now you can't.
I'm
You
just
can't tell the
saying.
local Bible she's off beat. You can't do that.
You know, I'm just saying, like, you know, it's just like, yo, what was going on, Brady? What was going on? Hey, did you all hear about this racist dude kind of switching gears and said, I don't know if we got the video of that. The racist dude I think that was in Arizona.
Oh, Arizona. Oh no, because that was TMZ. Nope.
Oh, okay. I'm sure BOSSIP probably has it too, though. But there was like a video of this dude, like this Asian dude, going off on this guy talking about, you know, this is a no nigga zone or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, like it's crazy. Like, so what's your whole take on the unrest that's going on right now, like the racial divide with our country as a personality? Like, what's your thoughts on it?
You know, I just feel like every day there's something new. There's some kind of video. People are feeling, and they have been feeling ever since Trump has been in office, just bold. You know, they don't care anymore. They don't care to really hide their racism. So it's unfortunate to see. You know, we had that video there this week. That guy actually ended up losing his job. You know, so there actually are real repercussions for their actions. I don't know if you saw this one, Umi Sushi here in Atlanta and Buckhead. They are under fire because there was a black man who came in. He had on Nikes, he had on sneakers, which is against dress code. However, he pointed out that there was a white woman at the bar who also had on sneakers. And he questioned that. He said, well, how come she can wear sneakers and I can't? At first they said, well, those are dress sneakers. I don't even know what that means. Then the owner actually came down, got super aggressive with the guy, and he almost got into a fight with him. So there's just a lot going on now where people are feeling just really emboldened. And unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, it is being captured on video so that we have a record of it.
Wow. Yeah, I agree with you. 100%. Well, I know that we are running out of time, Dani. I really appreciate you joining us this evening. Tell everybody how they can get in contact with you and give you a shout.
Yes, you can reach me on all my social media. It's all the same. It's at I am Dani. That's DANI Canada, like the country.
Yeah, there it is, everybody. This is Dani Canada, Deputy Editor of BOSSIP. Oh, and one thing before you go, and you know I always talk to you about this. When are they going to bring back the BOSSIP TV show on WeTV? Because Dani, I'm telling you, I'm
Listen.
telling you, the show was so good. It was so good.
You are so sweet. Thank you. And I appreciate that.
That's real. I'm just telling you what it is.
Watching. I've heard some rumblings about the TV show. Nothing is confirmed. If it does come back, I believe there's a different network it'll be on. But I'll keep you posted. Fingers definitely crossed. I'll keep you posted.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, you stay blessed. Continue to be great in everything that you do. I really appreciate you doing the show, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Danny.
Bye,
Take
Sid.
care.
Thank y'all.
All right.
Thanks, Danny.
Yo, Sid, great show today, brother.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties. I know you going through your stuff in Atlanta. We are we're about 4 days away from Election Day ending now, so got a little left. Well, we're almost to the home stretch. Well, this is the home stretch, I guess.
Yeah. Well, people, with that being said, you just got to get to the polls. Make sure that you vote. Tomorrow is the last day for early voting, and then, of course, on Tuesday, because we will be back next Thursday, but we won't be able to talk to you before Tuesday. So just get to the polls and vote. There's so much riding on this election right here, and if you just think about just like my great-great-grandmother didn't have the opportunity to vote. There are people in my family, like, they never had the opportunity to vote just because of the color of their skin. It's imperative. There's so much riding on this election right here. If you really want change, get to the polls, get that booty to the poll, and vote, period.
Get the booty to the poll. And then if you've already voted, then that doesn't mean it's over for you. Help somebody else. If somebody might need a ride to drop off their ballot, or a ride to do their early voting, or a ride to the polls or something. Do what you can, because we still need some help. And remember, it's not just about the president. We got all these down ballot elections. We're electing prosecutors and state people all down the races. Senate races going on. There's 2 Senate races going on in Georgia. We're trying to win both of them, because once we win the Senate, then we won't have people blocking our blessings that try and come through. So we got to make sure that we do that. So if you can help, donate or make some calls or do whatever you need to do so that we can win this thing, and then we can start over, because this is just the first part. Voting is just step 1. But once we get step 1 down, then we can go on to the next step. But we appreciate you. We hope the next time we see you, we're going to have some good news and some smiling faces. But either way, we're going to have some marching orders on what we need to do. So without further ado, thank you for joining us on this episode of the Everybody Mad Live podcast. You can follow me right here at Said Lover at everywhere on all social platforms, but also follow us down there, Everybody Mad Solo.2. Follow, subscribe, watch, and listen to all of our links
and all of our shows. You can also follow me, Kenya Kabine, and Kenya Kabine 1 on Facebook. With that being said, good night. God bless. Stay safe, stay blessed, and we'll talk to you all next week.
Go vote.